Hi everyone, it's Anastasia from digitaljunk.journals.com. In today's video, I'll be making a collage using ideas and inspiration from the July Art Journal prompts post, which you can find on the website. So I've prepped a little bit for this collage. I've put some images that I think I might want to use into a folder in my Canva account. And I also have put a copy of the July color palette in there so I can pull colors from it to use on the page. For this collage, I'm going to be using the grids that are available on Canva. They're technically a photo frame. I'm going to use it slightly differently though for this collage. So I'm just selecting one of the grids. It automatically snaps into place. And then I'm going into the color selector. So on the color palette, I have got the hex codes for each color. But if you look at the photo colors that were selected automatically, they are slightly different. I'm not too picky about that kind of thing, but if you want to be specific and get the right color, then you need to manually type in the hex codes into the color menu. Even the color picker won't pick the exact shade. Anyway, so I'm just going into each square and I'm selecting a color off of the color palette to fill in that square, as you can see there. And now I have like a color block kind of thing going on. Oh, another thing about these photo frames is, as you can see with this color palette image, if I move it, it tries to snap into that photo frame. So what you need to do in what I'm doing right now is locking that layer. So you just select the layer that you want to lock, and then in the top right corner there, hit that little lock icon, and then when it won't try to get in there anymore. Okay, this is a kooky little image. I found it on Pixabay when I was searching for sunflower graphics. It's obviously a vintage image of some kind. It's too weird for me not to want to use, so I will be incorporating it. And instead of just going straight to using a filter like I normally do, I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment. I'm going to use one of these other filters. These edit the image a lot more than the ones that I normally use, as you can see here. And you can see you can still adjust some things, so you can adjust the amount of color shift, the angle of the shift, and then make sure to hit apply so it applies it to that graphic. So that's what the flower person looks like right now. This sunflower is also from Pixabay. I'm just going to put it behind the sunflower person, kind of emphasize that. And then I'm going to use a regular filter to adjust the color slightly. Since the flower person now has such bright colors, anything around it also kind of needs to be brightened up a little bit, otherwise it looks too out of place. These little dots are actually available from Canva. I just saved it into the folder. Now I'm just deleting the color palette because I don't think I need it right now, and just adjusting the transparency a little bit. I like to add a lot of different texture layers to my collages. I think that's a leftover from when I was doing mixed media art with like paint and stamps and that kind of thing. So what I'm doing is adding more texture into this collage now. So I've got the plain colors in the color blocks, and I'm going to layer paper, vintage paper, on top of the color blocks. Then I'm adjusting the transparency and then just moving it behind the sunflower. And then I'm going to lock it into place just so I don't accidentally select it, move it around. You can see it's changed the color slightly in that block, but you can also see the texture of the page that I added on top of it. These vintage papers, most of them are from, I think, Pixabay and the Library of Congress. Okay, so that's what it looks like after putting the paper layers on top. Now I'm going into the Elements tab and I'm searching for basically more stuff that I can layer on top. So at this point, I'm thinking that I want to go with a digital thing, kind of building off of the kind of crazy computery look that the sunflower person has. And I like these, but I end up deleting this later on because it looks too similar to the dots in the corners. But for right now, that's what we have. And then I have these other dots that are also from Canva. I do often work in the rule of three. Rule of three. I don't know if that's what it's actually called. So you just put 3 of the same thing around the page. Then I'm just adjusting the color. So you can see the photo colors pulled some colors off of the end papers that I layered over the color blocks there, but I really wanted to try to stick with the color palette this time, so I'm just selecting something off of that color palette there. Now I'm adding in a partial quote, super partial. This is from a longer quote, which is available on the prompts page. And again, thinking I'm going to go with that kind of computer digital look, I originally picked a computer font, but then decided to go with a typewriter font, which is my favorite. So I think it just needs a couple more kind of visually interesting things. So something else I like to do is add these swirls in the background, just add some more visual interest. So what you add them, change the color to white, send them all the way to the back, and then change the transparency so it's just barely visible. So I've just done that, top and bottom. At this point, I've decided I don't like that digital frame thing, so I'm going to find something else. Searching for circle frame in the Elements tab. There's a lot of good stuff here. I like this gold dotted frame, just carrying through with the dots that I already have going on in the collage. And I like the gold tones on top of that yellow of the sunflower. I'm going to go and add some more gold stuff. A good way to add depth to a collage is to put blobs of things. They're like clouds of color that you can put around your collage, and it just makes it more interesting to look at, and it makes whatever you're putting them behind pop out. This gold cloud is particularly good, especially with these color tones that I have. They're very like jewel colored, so having gold in there works great. Again, just changing the colors of things. That's the nice thing about digital collage, is you can change the color of whatever, almost whatever you want. At this point, I've consciously decided to keep going with the dots. So I found these amazing painted looking background something. They're really cool looking, and they work great with the colors and what I have going on because they're not too overpowering, and I can layer them behind the other stuff to just add some more texture. So I really like that. So you actually can put a filter on top of something that you've put a filter on if it is a different kind of filter. So I've used that one filter to make it weird looking. Then I just put another filter on top of it to just slightly change the color a little bit. It was just a little bit too dissimilar from the rest of the collage. And now I'm redoing the title. Sometimes you have to try 5 or 6 different fonts to see what you like. us a completed collage. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel for more videos about making digital mixed media style collages.